that by the looks of it, looking back at the Crocs League Discord, I think we discussed it yesterday in the AMA. There was going to be some sort of voting going on about it as to who it gets sent to, and obviously it's been sent now, and it's probably created some level of mistrust amongst some people, I'd imagine, because of the fact it was supposed to be voted. But I suppose the point being, in the end, that at least we have the Origin Croc, and well, if it needs to get somewhere else and we need to do the vote anyway, then whatever, no issue. I think the important point there is that the Croc is within the community, and if it needs to get sent to somebody else, well, fine. That doesn't matter.
It's exactly that. In terms of we had a thing earlier on Discord, and everyone then started piling with hundreds of names. It's like out of everyone here, I know it's got the best interest of the community. I think Jolly's like one I've spoken to for a long time, and I know that I trust him to be able to send it to someone else if it needs to go to somebody else. And I think that you trust him more than you trust me. So, like you said, it's with someone in safe hands.
I don't mind if I have to send it to somebody else. Whatever. I honestly don't care. The thing I do care about, I suppose, is having to pay gas. But I'm sure we can, between us, come some sort of agreement.
I think it was $11 that it cost to send it to.
Okay. Well then. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fusion, I don't know if you want to talk about it anymore or anything, because I know you spoke to Paula without me on earlier, and well, maybe you're a little bit upset about it, but I can understand why, by the way. But obviously just wanting to clear the air and making everything transparent.
I'm just sitting here listening. You can go ahead.
Well, that was it. I've got nothing else to say.
That was a question to you, mate.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to add to it. Like, if you wanted to say anything about it, or like I said, I've got no issue to send it anyway. I've got it. We've got it as a community. So whatever. I'm not honestly. I'm not bothered. if the community votes someone else to have it apart from me, so be it. I'm really not fussed.
I'm fine. I'm fine with you having it.
Well, I mean, we can go with the vote as well. I really don't mind. We can honour the vote as a community, and if that's how we're doing it as a community, then so be it. But honestly, I will send it wherever. I'm absolutely not precious about holding it at all. If it was worth $100,000, then I'd be very precious about holding it. But yeah.
I mean, that's why we were holding it in the first place.
Well, yeah. I suppose that was the ambition, in the beginning. Exactly. But yeah.
So I will say this then, Jolly, since you're asking for my opinion, or my stance on the matter. As I've always came into this project, and I'll tell you why I bought into the project, by the way. I bought into the project because I believed in it. I believed in not the game. I like playing games. That stuff is cool, but that's not really what it's about. I believed in greater than that, and it actually shows currently at the moment within the members, the community. That's what I believed in. I always wanted to help people, and it showed on the back end. I like the art of the Crocs more than anything, and I think they were cool. I think one of my ideas, I don't know if I actually shared it with you guys, but I wanted to, I don't know if you guys caught it. I'm pretty sure Super caught it, because he likes cars. I like cars. So I wanted to put a car wrap on my car of the Crocs. I thought they were really cool, and I think it would look cool on a car. I had faith in this project. I think probably more than anybody, and I mean that genuinely. Because I seen the potential of it. I seen where it could go. further than just the Crocs League game, the gold membership, the yacht party, the Tesla giveaway, the hoodies, the gold member benefits, the token, the NFTs trading on OpenSea, the metaverse, whether that means buying land within somebody else's metaverse or creating our own metaverse. I believed in a Crocs League future. At the end of, 2022, come December, I 100% believed that something would have came to fruition at the end of this year. And I knew that we would have something great. And I don't mean the game, all the roadmap. I'm not speaking about any of that. I'm just talking about genuinely the people here. I knew we would have something great here. And that's the only reason I even suggested. And I actually friend requested Dwayne, and I sent him a message, and I'll read it verbatim. I told him in the message, I said, can you transfer the Origin Croc to me, please? I said, the community needs someone they can trust, and I'm willing to be that person. And the only reason
who did you say that to?
I sent it to Dwayne.
Okay.
So, and the only reason I said that is because I knew Dwayne had the password to OpenSea. So, and I knew that only based on the reactions of the community, nobody wanting to take responsibility, it seemed like. And I was willing to put myself on the line.
That's not true. Let's not do that. We talked about that earlier together. Let's not do that. Let's say that we talked about community leading together, and then let's just use the proper words since it's transparent.
Okay.
And there's, what I'm saying? Let's just be 100. Let's go.
Well,
I think you missed the beginning of the conversation because Paul had just joined as well. So let's just re go over, because I think a couple of pivotal people just joined. I opened up because obviously we're a bit late starting with the Origin Croc point, because I know yourself and Fusion, Paula spoke earlier, Paul spoke to me. I just want to say that obviously fully open and transparently, Dwayne sent the Origin Croc to me. I've got absolutely no issue with transferring it anywhere in the community as required. It's with the community now. If people vote for me to hold it, got no issue. People vote for me to send it somewhere, absolutely no issue. I'm fully transparent on the fact. I think Dwayne sent it to me. You missed Dwayne earlier, just saying, and I won't speak for Dwayne. He can speak if he wants to on the subject. But I've got, if we want to go back to the community vote, no problem. That's basically where we're at on it. So,
Fusion, just on your message, I've just checked the timestamp for your message, and you can check this on OpenSea and Etherscan, but I'd already sent it to Jolly about an hour or so before you sent me that message.
Yeah, we know.
Dwayne, last night, we all agreed that we would put up a poll. And you even asked people in the other main Crocs League Discord. I even then replied to you and suggested that you put out an announcement and then put color coded so people could pick as to who they wanted. So, why did you say to Dr. Jolly the community hadn't decided?
Because we got a ton of messages from lots of people all saying it. And it's like, this is not going to get sorted out quickly. And, out of everyone here, had a longer speaking DM relationship, let's say, in terms of a trust level, in terms of who I trust, who I know will do right by it. He's the one that I know that would hold it safely and not. I don't know everyone here very well, but I know that he wouldn't try and flip it. I know that he would do the right thing, and that I'd rather have it with someone that you guys trust more than myself, and that's what I said earlier. So if he, like he said, if you need to continue polling further and then you want it with somebody else, so be it. But I know in my heart of hearts that he would send it on if needs be.
I just want to make it clear that me speaking like this, Jolly, I have nothing against you, by the way. Okay. You just have to understand, Dwayne, from a community perspective, because I stand with this community, right? I'm very transparent, about everything, literally. Okay. It just looks, it puts Jolly in a position of suspicion, and then it raises your suspicion level even more. And that's a huge issue. If the community has decided we're going to be community led, and then you go and do something outside of what the community hasn't decided, that makes it difficult to rebuild Crocs League on a strong foundation. Because the foundation.
Just a point on that. I think it's worth mentioning two things. One, I think the only thing it really compromises is potentially the community's vote to me to hold the Croc. That's probably the only thing it compromises. And if that's what it compromises and people don't want me to hold it, I've got no issue with it. Otherwise, the community will be resurrected as soon as I transfer it on. So I understand what you're saying about the community, but you've got my word that if it's voted on to be transferred, then no worries.
Let me finish. I'm not worried about you holding the Croc. I have plenty of confidence that you will do the right thing, right? My issue is if we decided we're community-led, you can't go then and send someone, right, because you decided you trust them in your inbox, right, and make a decision on behalf of the community. If we're trying to build solidity, hold on, no, let me finish speaking. Okay, I'm practically the only woman in here, so let me finish speaking. If we're trying to build solidity, trust, everything that has been broken, not just once, not just twice, multiple times in this community, okay, then these little transactions can't happen, right? Regardless of how you feel, Dwayne, about Dr. Jolly, or how you think how long your DM sessions have been, right? You cannot make a decision if it's community. Community didn't say, yes, transfer it to Dr. Jolly. No one said that. You went ahead and did it. Do you see what I mean? So guys, what I'm saying is if we're moving forward with this project, right, now that the original Croc is available, right, we can't be making decisions without the community. It's very simple. You put up a poll, you let the community decide. If it goes left, the community decided it. It's no one else's responsibility. It's everyone's responsibility. That's where I'm coming from.
I agree.
I agree with you, Paula. No question.
Okay, so
I won't do anything without people saying to do it then. Simple as.
Okay, how about this? Now that that's out of the way, and everybody can agree on that, community-wise, for sure, I can guarantee. The swing of it is now that's one part of it, right? Now that is the availability to revamp the collection, mutate the collection, everything the collection. That is that part of it. The other part of the community part is what me and you, Dwayne, talked about briefly is what about the metadata, the website, and any of the back-end ideals of any of this so that somebody can code in the video game. So somebody then can build an actual report to get these websites cleared so that there is the actual email connected to the actual social media that's connected to the actual OpenSea that's connected to the actual, all that things matter when you're trying to connect everything together, as you all know.
Yep, and so all the metadata is available on a public API already. The website uses it. It's not hidden. It's all there. But yeah, you guys tell me what you want me to do with it. Simple as.
So I have a quick question. So is Crocs 0 like a key in a sense, or more of like an olive branch type situation?
On our side of it, Crocs 0 for all the Croc holders.
We should let Dwayne explain that, Neon. We should let Dwayne explain that. Let Dwayne explain that.
I don't think I quite understand the question. If you can maybe go a little bit further.
Yeah. What I was reading early on sounded like Croc Zeros is like a access to XYZ or like a password or a key in a sense. So is that the case, or is it more just like, hey, this is the original one, out of good faith, here you go type of thing?
So it was always done with its metadata to be the rarest one. And I think if you look at, I think it's Trait Sniper or something, it's there with Spock for some reason. It ranks Spock higher for some reason. I don't know why that would be. But obviously also, the game things that we had playing was always based on, like, that's the daddy Croc, so to speak, and everything else comes below it. Obviously, it's initial artwork with no extra things put on it as well. So it's one of a kind.
It's like a template, basically.
It was the very first Croc that was.
Okay, so can I explain what I was saying to go along with what everybody needs to hear on the layman's that nobody's going to talk about ever is the fact that if the original Croc is owned by the same person that owns the metadata, if, like you said, it's up for par on the OpenSea, yes. But what I'm saying is the 0000 traits means you can make any of those traits something else off of that. Right again, 100% different traits. To rewrite an entire Crocs League off of the same Crocs League and do other things to generate revenue for Crocs League. If somebody has that does whatever they're going to do with it is one thing. Like Dwayne had it in the Zero League wallet that is connected to all the transactions on OpenSea. That's why it's in that wallet at the time.
Yeah.
Correct?
Exactly.
Me if I'm wrong, please.
Is that true, Dwayne?
Sorry, say that again?
I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Zero Croc was in the OpenSea wallet that was connected to all of the other Crocs through the CrocsLeague.com website because the minting, mining, metadata connection to the blockchain leads to OpenSea through all of that, right?
Yeah, so it was all the same master wallet.
But my understanding of the origin Croc is just.
Excuse me, I don't want to interrupt. I just want to get this thought process out so it makes sense to everybody that's listening. The thought process of the 0008 is owned by the guy who owns apes, right?
Yeah.
Because there's $3.5 million mutation serums, right?
Yeah.
Which makes $35 million mutant apes, right?
Yep.
Why? Because the 08, correct me if I'm wrong.
Is the Zero Croc not just an NFT?
No, it's not at all. The 08
They
has the
have
ability to do anything with.
You're both right in different ways. It's the initial layer. All of the Crocs.
It is the template layer. You can write anything over it. I can draw over the
Neon,
whole thing.
Neon.
Sell it as it is.
Neon.
No.
Let Dwayne speak.
And I want Dwayne to say the words right. It is not, okay? We talked about this yesterday, and now we're talking about it again. So if Dwayne could please explain a little bit differently the way that these words are coming out, because if he doesn't say it right, and Homeboy didn't ask, excuse me, I don't know who talked, but he didn't ask the question right enough for Dwayne to be enough specific to answer it correctly. So the idea behind it, so everybody gets it, the 000 Croc, if it's connected to the Crocs League website and the mining data, then it is then able to do all this stuff for the Crocs League. If it's not, then it doesn't. Then somebody owns it to flip it. It's just art then. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so it's in terms of the actual particular Zero NFT, it's the latter. It was the first one created from the metadata, but it doesn't own the metadata. So the metadata is just the first thing in there, and everything else is based off of that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne. Does it not make just our Crocs? But it doesn't make it that if I say, for instance, correct me if I'm wrong. Say, for instance, if somebody else, or let's just even say you transferring into Dr. Jolly, and Dr. Jolly then acquiring what you told me earlier. If somebody acquires the OpenSea and the website, they can wash all of it, right? So what makes that different than what we were talking about? To have it two-tiered so that nobody does this and nobody does that, except for the person that wants to make the different Crocs through the blockchain to have somebody make some money back to raise our Croc value and have the knowledge that it goes into this community pool through the website, through the proper blockchains.
I think
what you need to be able to generate them is the PNG assets, which is the folder of all of the different traits as individual layers that you stack together. The origin Croc was just the first one drawn,
Exactly.
and then everything else was based off of that.
So basically, Al, can I add something?
If he doesn't have the lock, which is all of the metadata for all of the assets and properties, and any new assets and properties that are locked through the email and website that goes through where they were minted, it is all irrelevant. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that's not right. All of the metadata is public. It's on the blockchain.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Metadata. I'm saying for future Crocs. If they, excuse me, I'll say it better. If future Crocs and mutations and serums don't line up through the same email that was minted, it's not the same Croc, which doesn't lead to the same blockchain, which makes everybody's Croc not authenticated if they've tried to do what I'm talking about, which is burn their Croc, get a new one that's worth more because they bought something else, which then reinvest in our project, reinvest in that quote-unquote Ethereum OpenSea account wallet that you shared that's at zeros, and then their Croc's worth more to sell more people to buy serums to make a more Croc that's worth more and get more people involved in the process because the game, because the future steps, all through the website and the email check-in that is connected to the OpenSea, that is connected to the website. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
So it's done from the wallet. So the wallet logs into OpenSea, not any email or anything like that. And I say there's all of these NFTs were minted from a particular contract. So that contract is still valid, will always be valid. What we can do is we can adjust the metadata on those. We can replace the photos with other photos because they're just, they're just digital assets that are sat on the web server. They can be changed.
It's just code, right? That's what I'm trying to say. But the kicker is, if it's not back through the blockchain, it's irrelevant, correct? If it's not through crocsleaf.com and through where we minted it, it doesn't make it real, right?
Al, if you destroyed the Origin Croc, you could create another Origin Croc. It's just an NFT that's been created from the metadata. The only thing that it is an original Croc that potentially would sell for a lot more money in the collection. That's the only thing it is.
To a person that has it without the blockchain and the MetaMask wallet that connects to all the other transactions of all the other Crocs, yes.
Well,
but if you have that, if you have that metadata connected to the original Croc, you could redraw over it through the same wallet that we have to then mutate, burn, and then make less of to make more of something else, right or wrong? If you sell it, now that it's just yours, it is just a Croc that's more rare than all the other ones right now. But with the MetaMask wallet, you can then rerun through the same connections through OpenSea and everywhere else because you're in control of the original minting, mining, backline website and money where it's going to, right?
Everything has already been minted. You can't mint anything new on that contract. That contract has been fulfilled because it has
any transaction, just like Paul is today. $4 went somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne. Hello?
Sorry, say that. Explain that again.
Paula bought a Croc today for $40. The royalties of that Croc sale went somewhere, right? Where did it go, Dwayne?
It went to OpenSea, and then OpenSea, at some point over the next 4 to 6 days, will send it to the royalties wallet, which I've shared on Discord.
Okay, and then now, why wouldn't the plan of action is to get and a plan of action connected to that, like the mutation, just for instance, the conversation's sake, the mutation aspects to the same blockchain that we have. If it is the same one, that one's gone, and all the royalties were taken out of that wallet, right? The initial mint royalty wallet is all gone, like you said, which is our investment in the project for the things on the roadmap. It's gone. Now what are we going to make money off of or for, and how and why to get money in a pool other than us holding ourselves by our hands and our privates and then putting money into something else? A coin?
That's what I said before. That's what we said before, Al. That's what we're asking Dwayne for, is basically an idea.
Or mining the data of all the battles. Why don't we do that?
I think we're on to a separate topic here, Al, which is, what we're actually going to do with the idea of...
I just want to know a simple question. What are we doing with the data that's getting mined by everybody putting their wallet in? Why isn't it just a picture of our Croc? That is data mining transaction area if our wallets are connected to all of it. Why is it just
there's nothing that we do. The only thing the wallet connection does is just to tell the website what your Ethereum address is. It does nothing else. You would know that because if it was to do anything else, it would make you run a transaction. It would make you sign something. All it is done is for verification, so we can look up in the database who owns those Crocs associated to that address, so we can display it on the screen. It does absolutely nothing else.
Okay, so why don't we mine it then? Like we were talking about in the conversation yesterday. Why don't we put a wager up of any coin for right now if we can with the metadata wallet that we have connected and make transactions that go in that pot? Why aren't we talking about ways to make money instead of reinvesting in a coin?
We could do. There's nothing stopping us having it so that in order to play the game, you know, you have to pay a fee that goes into that wallet for the community. But as we discussed yesterday, I was originally against that idea because I didn't want people, you know, spending more money on a game that wasn't ready. You know,
I understand that.
I've put together, which is why I wanted it to be free. It's just as a thing that everyone can play. But if the community decides they want to do it another way and actually say, okay, no, actually we want to start putting this, you know, every time you play, you've got to put a wager in, and then it gets paid out, then
why don't we look at it at two things? Why don't we look at mining the metadata of all of this, transactions every 15 minutes for 24 hours? That's a lot of data mining just by putting in our metadata, opening it up. Here's the file size of this. Here's the data transactioning, win, loss, 0, 1s. Now it's something mining. It's actually to that coin that you made that can be on Ethereum chain that is a mining chain, correct?
Yeah. So all of the data is being pushed through OpenSea now. And it's all on the API, so it's all publicly available. It's not hidden away. Everything that we've got is exposed.
No, I'm talking about the website. When we click into the website, correct me if I'm wrong, could be connected to a miner, and all that data that's running through those transactions of 0 transactions, but having our metadata with the two, say I got $22 a mine, and then that loads up to this, and it's reading the transactions of Ethereum up and down for the 15 minutes. Is that not connectable to a mining ideal through a programming data? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay,
what you mean by mining in that sense.
Can we mine it through an Ethereum chain or our own coin that we create? Can we do that?
Can we mint our own tokens? Yeah, but we wouldn't need to do any.
We can mint our own tokens, but let's say that the token's already minted. For instance, in theoretics, say we already minted Croc token, right? And say that token is connected to the mining that we've connected it back into of all the data that is going on, even if it's slight, between all the battles for every 15 minutes, 4,000 Crocs for 24 hours, right? Wouldn't we be able to mine that data?
And what would happen after we mined the data?
The data mining turns into minting of coins of our coin, and it goes back into the royalty pot. Could we not do that?
As like Croc tokens, do you mean?
Yeah, like let's say the Croc token tomorrow magically is here, and everybody's got 100 of them in their pocket, right? And then, like we said, the battle goes on, but not only the Croc token wager, but couldn't the mined data of the transaction of our 2 Crocs doing mining of a win-loss ideal that's programmed, couldn't that be programmed to a mining of the data to then dump the ETH that is getting mined into our royalties wallet?
I mean, we can put royalties in based on win-loss, but we wouldn't need to do any of that. If it's our token, we can just dump the tokens in there immediately.
I know, but doesn't the robot mine the tokens every fight for 15 minutes for 24 hours?
No,
if we program it.
No, you
Could
wouldn't
we program
need to.
it?
You wouldn't need to. It'd be pointless to, because we can when you create a contract, an ERC20, you can just mint them all up front. It would be expensive to do it the other way. Horrifically expensive. It would be pointless.
Mining the coin after we've already minted 100 million. So tomorrow we mint 100 million coins, right? But
sorry to interrupt quickly. I've just got to go for 5-10 minutes to put some kids to bed.
Say that. So if we mine 100 million coins, and each one of the coins is worth whatever, and then the opposite end of that transaction is connected to a miner that is taking data from somewhere, and the data that we're mining it from somewhere goes to
the wallet.
Goes to the Ethereum token that we made off the Ethereum chain called Croc tokens, and it's mining these tokens for us by every transaction on the back end, and we're wagering them on the front end to get us all more money the whole time. Could that not be coded?
Theoretically, I guess.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
I mean, I'm still not fully understanding the idea, but anything's possible. You know.
Okay, every transaction, right? Is that not a transaction of the coin not getting moved and just the data of those 2 coins getting put into whatever program that is on the back end of the website? Could we not code that to, say, a server that is going 24 hours a day, that as it's mining on a mining program, the data getting dumped into it is our Crocs in the battles that we fight?
I can't do it.
I can't
You
do
could
it.
do.
Okay.
You're ready.
So I just have to jump in. Because this is going on for I don't know how long now. But we got to figure something out here. Okay, what do we have this meeting for? Paula, can you please tell us?
I think we just figured out a lot.
I don't know. I called the meeting for tomorrow, so I don't know why this meeting is happening.
So we said it was for 8 o'clock today. That's what everyone said. That's why I was
Oh, today they're on the other side of the map. Today.
No, it's 8:37 p.m. in the evening on a Saturday here.
It's Saturday everywhere.
Yeah, so we're all on the same day.
So I guess Paula called that to ask the questions we just asked because
I didn't
as of
say
right
that.
now, there's nothing stopping any of what I just said to be happening, and we should make it if it's not already happening.
So
Makes sense.
the idea of this meeting is first off to clarify, the air about why the origin Croc got sent. I think Al Leon obviously has theories of how this is working, and he wants to get them clarified. And quite frankly, guys, we spent 48 hours talking about the same nonsense. It's just time to move forward. What are your ideas? What do you want to do? Do you want to scrap Crocs League altogether and just go live your lives, except that you have a loss? Or do you want to make this project work? This is where we are at right now, okay? Yep. And quite frankly, we've spoken about the same thing time and time again. Yes, we know, okay, Dwayne, we've got trust issues with Dwayne. Yes, it was weird, the Croc got... Okay, we get all of that. How do we move forward, please? This is what I need to hear, because quite frankly, it's getting exhausting, and this is some people work 9 to 5s. I get paid on performance. So, what's next now? What's next? Are we moving forward? Are we letting it go? I can see Dwayne really wants to stay here, but how does everyone feel about that? I don't want to go over that again. What is next? What is next, guys?
I want to move forward.
Sorry,
those that want to move forwards should be able to move forwards. Those that don't want to move forwards, then they are free to, like you say, cut their losses if they don't want to. They've still got their NFTs. If we make a success of it, they profit in the long run. But like I say, retreading on the same ground, I think we've all said, we all know what's happened in the past. There's nothing more we can do other than move forward and try to make a success. We've already made a bit of progress. We've made progress over the last 72 hours. We've made some progress getting the floor up. Obviously, I think we've, although it's still a small amount of money, it's up by, 40% since the day. It's not a great deal of Crocs that need to go before we're back at those initial mint price. We can do something if we work together. We just can't argue with each other anymore. Those that want to stay. If not, we know that you've got people have got issues still. It's fine, but deriding the project more isn't going to help them get any of their investment back. It isn't going to help us move it forward. So those of us that want to move it forwards, we should move it forwards. But I'm also completely happy if you want to do a big mass poll, get some numbers. Maybe there has to be a certain number of people involved, say like 50 or 100 or whatever it is, to say that's enough people to say yes, let's go forward. But
Hey, would you be willing to hand over the logins and all of things to social media? And I suppose, is it possible to change the wallet on the smart contract?
Yes, so the wallet on the smart contract has already been changed to the royalties one. So because I wanted to make sure that was the wallet I created yesterday. I wanted to make sure that only I had logins for that wallet and nobody else previously attached to the project could access that wallet and access the contract. In terms of the social logins, like I said, I will share them once I've sanitized private data in there. There's things like people's IPs, people's locations, people's phone numbers, personal emails from when they've associated with those. I'm not going to hand it over until I've removed those from that for obvious reasons, especially with the threats that people have had. I don't condone violence, but I'm also not putting myself in a position where I've enabled that via proxy. So once it's been cleansed, I'm happy to send them over.
Can we put a deadline on that?
I was going to say, can we put a deadline on it? And in terms of people's information, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Some people already have it in here. So if I would just say...
I mean the geolocation, for example, on one person's is literally on top of their house. So I'm concerned about that and want to make sure that Facebook have removed that from the Instagram profile before I hand it over.
We know houses. Let's just pretend like everybody is already current on everything bad that in the world that we live in, that we all got robbed for $1 million flat, square, roundabout, and now we have this new community of people trying to do the best that we can to generate a revenue stream that either makes us a bunch of money or at least the whatever dollars we got back, and it's not all for naught. And we have some cool JPEGs, like Dwayne said.
Just a point I'd like to say is, if you did hand over control of everything, Dwayne, would you then still stay as a non-Croc owner if you still weren't getting paid?
I've said this, I mean, I wouldn't be here at 9 o'clock on a Saturday night rather than spending my time with my family. You know, I wouldn't have been coding new features to a game for free for the last 3 or 4 days if I wasn't invested, you know, emotionally and
100%.
professionally in this project.
Are you still getting paid by Dr. Troller?
No, not since, I think it was like the 2nd of December was the last time I got anything, and that was just hours owed.
Do you think you're going to get paid anything else, or is that it? You've cut ties with him?
That's it. There's nothing more.
Okay, so Dwayne, just to clarify to everyone, do you know Dr. Troller by like maybe what because of this project? Sorry guys, someone's making a lot of noise.
No, like I say, it's a professional relationship. I've worked with him for a number of years on different projects.
Right, so guys, did you hear that? It's a professional relationship. There isn't a personal one, from what I understand.
No, I've not even been out for dinner with him.
Okay.
Or had a beer or anything like that. It's been strictly business.
Okay. Okay, so I guess the next step is putting up the poll, deciding, you know, do we want 4 or 5 members having access to the original Croc, or do we want one person? I think that's the next step, guys, because we need to start making decisions. Otherwise, if we don't start making decisions, this project just gets stagnant.
Can you make it?
In terms of the account,
I have a question.
Seed phrase. Anyone that's got the seed phrase can do anything to that role. So we just need to be make sure that we have, you know, as much as you know, there's got to be trust the other way as well. In terms of, like, you know, they can do anything to it. They can kill the contract. They can burn all the NFTs with that wallet. So we do have to be careful who gets access to it from that point of view.
That's absolutely fine, Dwayne. I'm sure we can find 2 trustworthy people who can, you know, lead on that.
Can we divide the passcode into like 3 different people owning a third of each of the words, so no one person can access it alone without having the other 2?
Not possible, no, because
no, you have to have they all have to be put into the same account at the same time. So it's
I understand that, but I guess not let one person have that control.
Yeah, so I mean,
have 3. You kind of like you need all 3 people to do anything with that.
yeah, it's a good idea based on like
you would never know that they're the right words. Someone would have to verify that those words going together make it, and in order to verify, you have to see all 12 words on the screen.
Also, if you ever wanted to log into it, you need to use the seed phrase, and then whoever logged into it would know all the words. It's not like, for example, the nuclear keys, where somebody has just access to one and they can all come together and plug it in. It's a good idea.
It also never changes. So, like, I give you the seed 12 phrases. I still know what they are because I've sent you them. Like, obviously, I can delete the file, but then you've got the trust of me that I've done that, but I've still seen
Good point.
they're probably in my backup somewhere as well. So I'm probably not going to be able to delete every reference of them.
Dwayne, can I ask you a question? What is your interest in, you know, making this project work? Why are you invested? I know obviously you've been working really hard, and I appreciate everything you've done so far for the community. It doesn't go unnoticed, but what is your interest in making this work?
I've literally spent the vast majority of my time for the last 3 months doing nothing but this. Like I said, I am invested. I like to make sure the projects see fruition. I don't think this has failed yet, and I'm not a quitter. And I know that might not be enough for some people, but you know, I've put in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into this. You know, I'm not willing to just give up just because it gets hard.
Is it because it's like your little baby basically? Because you did.
It becomes a little bit like that after some point, yeah. I mean, like I say, there's been times I've been up to 1 a.m. coding stuff or talking to people on Discord rather than spending time with my family. It's become a second baby in a way. I think anyone that codes, you create things, they're your things. Then, if you know what I mean, so there's a attachment, a possession, so to speak, associated with it, and it's hard to give that away, if you know what I mean.
A sentimental value to it.
Exactly.
Okay, that I can understand.
Like a few
I'd
questions.
like to say, I feel there's a sense of duty as well that, a lot of what had transpired, I wasn't aware of, and in retrospect, I probably should have been, and there were probably warning signs there. So there's a sense of duty to you lot that I don't want to let people down. I've said this to a few of you that I've spoken to. I genuinely believe what I'm saying, and although some of them will turn out to have, been mistruths, that wasn't me deliberately misleading you.
Okay. All right, guys. I think right now we need a poll. Who's that? I think we need a poll. I think hold on, no. I think B Slackway. I think you had a question.
I already spoke what I just wanted to know if we could have more than like a couple people that would have to be there to make this thing, but obviously you can't.
Yeah.
So
it's the one thing that I think it was Al that I was speaking to earlier. It was like, the blockchain has this thing where, like, you got these master keys, you can do everything, but they haven't solved this fundamental problem of how do you make sure that you need multiple people involved to do a transaction, and it's the missing piece of the puzzle which would make everyone feel a lot safer on these things. Like, imagine that you had an NFT mint collection where, like, unless the community said pay out, you couldn't, the creator couldn't get payout. That would be brilliant. Imagine the trust in that, but it just doesn't exist. You'd need to create a whole new blockchain for that. Maybe there's something there for someone, I don't know, but yeah, it's at the moment it is, one person has all the control at any given time on any contract, and it's a problem.
Question about I joined the chat a little bit late, but basically all the money from the mint's gone, correct?
Yeah, and like I say, the vast majority of it was spent on the project. I know that most people think, 90% of it's profit. It absolutely bloody wasn't. I don't have itemized what cost what, but I can do enough maths to say at least 650 grand was spent on the project, and whatever's left on top of that is what the profit was. So it's minuscule compared to the whole amount.
Would you not have transaction data for that? And would you not?
Only transaction data on income, and not in terms of paying for. I haven't got the full itemized list of every single post that we got promoted and how much each one of those cost, and exactly how much got sent over to the studio that was involved in the game, and how much was paid for the original Crocs artwork. All of that stuff, how much to get the press releases done, they all cost money as well, obviously. It all adds up to a lot, and I think that is one of the reasons why I think the mint got continued, is that I think there was a loss at one point because we hadn't actually got enough income in to cover the marketing that we wanted to do, and I think that's when it all slowed down. And I think a lot of you are asking, like, well, can we do some more marketing? It's like, would love to, but there's no money at the moment. We need more to put more marketing to make more things. And, yeah, so
did Trevor actually leave with any money?
Very little. Like I said, there would be no more than, I reckon, 60 grand in total profit after everything has been done, and I'm not even sure it was that much.
still
It's still
nearly.
I understand that.
It's still nearly 7% actually. It's still nearly 7% profit.
That's a game. That's a game right there.
Yeah, that's 7%. Well, and I suppose it spits in the face of the people that on the reverse lost 20 grand in the process. So, which is exponentially more money.
No, totally.
Of their last money.
Yeah.
And how did Dr. Scholler part ways with you?
How?
Well, did he just ghost you, or like did he
no,
make a
after
statement?
after I got a new phone that came, I gave him ring stuff he hadn't spoken to since what happened on New Year's, because he was like, "Where have you been?" I was like, "Well," I explained to him the situation. I was like, I need to have an update of what's going on," and he's like, "Oh, well, there's nothing more coming at this point." I was like, "Well, they kind of, we have promised that this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, like, or we haven't got any money left to do it all, so we're gonna have to just put a stop to it, and I'm just gonna end my involvement in it. Simple as that, really." I was like, "Well, that puts me in the shit. Thanks for that, because I'm the one that got to speak to these people."
Would you deal with him again on a different project?
Not at this point. That's obviously going to cost a revenue stream for me, but so be it. Just means I'll find someone else to fill my time with. Like I said, I'm not involved in the other one, and I'm not sure whether the other person they got is going to be for much longer either.
How much to keep funding this to be our dev for any future programming and doing any of this
I don't want any money off any of you. I wouldn't feel right.
Sounds like a simple forgive and forget to me. Yeah. Haven't forgiven.
It's one of the reasons. It's like saying, like, when with people were starting to talk about, when I came up with the game idea, it's like, oh, we can make some more, make some more revenue here by charging them to play the game. I was like, no, we've done the mint. That was what the revenue was. So I was quite adamant that it was meant to be free. But I don't want any money. Like I said, the only thing I currently have that could potentially worth anything is I still at the moment have those 32 Crocs, I think, but I'm also happy to use those for giveaways. But if we make this successful, they're worth some money.
Wouldn't those be the communities in all retrospect?
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm happy to do that. I'm saying that currently, in terms of if I'm looking at assets that I currently have in my possession, that's all I have. But I say I'm happy to give those to the community to use.
Out of interest, Dwayne, I live about an hour from Nottingham. Would you actually meet me for a beer?
Later in the month, yeah. Not until I've recovered, but later in the year. Later in the month, should I say? I think it's the 5th of February. I'm due to have this cast off. So after that, absolutely.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, once it's all died out. At the moment, with all those threats and stuff that everyone's giving people, I don't feel comfortable until that's died down and the emotion's gone a little bit, and people can see that there's been, actually he's been here working for us. He actually is, believing what he's saying, because he's actually day in, day out doing what's been asked of him. And at that point, I will feel a bit more comfortable. And,
I get it.
I've obviously gone through a traumatic experience myself in the last week. The anxiety of having, even if there's not a potential of it, there's still that in the back of my mind. You know what I mean?
I'm a teddy bear, really.
I personally think you should be able to keep one to three of the Crocs just for doing what you're doing.
I don't like I say, I'm happy to give them away. I'm not fussed.
Not all of them.
If afterwards you want to give me one back once we've made the mint price back up on the floor, then so be it. But the other way around, I'm not fussed.
Sounds beautiful.
I think his forgiveness to himself is he's happy with the loan, let alone Crocs or whatever.
Or we just remake a Dwayne Croc for everything you've done. That's ultra rare airdrop back to you, 100%.
I like that idea.
As the Dwayne traits off the original Croc.
I'd trade that for meeting The Rock, to be fully honest.
All right, I got you.
That shouldn't be hard.
Okay.
You gotta keep this momentum going forward.
Yeah, I think, guys, Dwayne has shown in the last few days. He's delivered. we've discussed, our position with him. He understands, we understand. I think right now that the air is clear and that there is some level of stability, it's time to make decisions.
I've always been guilty by association. I understand that. Or we can
still, Dwayne. The issue I have personally, and we do have a good connection between us, but the issue I have is that I still know that you have told some lies and continue to do so, and that until you become fully transparent with everyone and become fully clean, I have a massive issue with it. That I'm just going to put that out there. I have a massive issue with it until you become fully transparent, because to me, it does not mean you can work on the project. Simple as that, in my eyes, and the community may decide differently, but I cannot work with you on this project if you are not fully transparent.
Okay, so with that information, Dwayne, what's missing?
I'd like to know, to be honest, because I can't, if there's something that I need to clarify or not clarify or what have you, then tell me what it is and I will clarify it.
Wayne, we know with 100% certainty that the AP watch giveaway was faked. We know that with and I've got 5 people in the chat with me now that could, with 100% certainty, back me up on this point. So, and so I think what we need to clarify is.
So how because like I said, from my understanding from speaking to Andrew, it was all above board. That's what I was told. I'd love to know what this proof is that you keep talking about, because
where is the watch?
If you say that you know something, say it so we can clarify it.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated than that, Dwayne, unfortunately. But what we know for sure, obviously, is that the watch giveaway itself was at best dishonest based on how it was done. Let's be absolutely honest here with each other. And I do as two switched on people, that you could have done that giveaway in a way that meant it was absolutely 100% impossible to be proven that it was fake, right? You could have done that with a 100k giveaway, okay? Point one.
Would have been done
Point
differently,
two,
absolutely. I'm not disputing that.
So, but that's point one, okay? Let's just get that out there, right? Point two, at this moment, Andrew had already started a second NFT project, okay?
I wasn't aware of that at that time.
Okay. But these are the facts that are on the table. Andrew had started a second project, okay? Point three, obviously, you were giving away the watch. Posting the video and in contact with Troller, and this person came forward, Joel W, and everyone will remember that the devs, as he said it, urged him to come forwards to talk to the community about the watch giveaway, meaning that the devs themselves knew that this person had come forward on Instagram, knew the person, therefore, because they had a profile, and brought them into the Discord to talk about it. So, that can't have just been Andrew.
Well, I'd never spoken to him to do that. I mean, I also just remind everyone that how many of you have messaged all of us with your Ethereum addresses to check things, to do things, and all of the other things. So I will be able to look at an Ethereum address and tell you who the user is.
Yeah. Okay.
So if they've done that,
very obvious, bro.
Well,
then we know who it is.
So let's just be clear as well. Let's just add some more facts to the table. Joel W joined the server on day one, prior to you even. So assuming part of the dev team, because we can trace that. Point two, he didn't mint a single croc, even though when you trace back on the chat, he said he owned 6 because he was talking bollocks in the chat on the account, always coming in at points of frustration. He only then minted a single croc one day after the Troller announcement on the AP giveaway. Come on. Let's be real.
Loads of people have multiple wallets. I think Sam, for example, has at least 2. K-Pack has 2 or 3 that I know of already. Just because you've only got one in one wallet, that means nothing. But like I say, if that's what happened, it's news to me because I wasn't involved in any of that.
The Dole W account is one of the devs' accounts, okay, for sure. And Andrew used it as a
troll account, a troll account.
And since, I mean, whether you were backing the project, Dwayne, at the time, backing Troll or whatever it was, you were absolutely adamant and continue to be adamant, even with these facts on the table. And you're a smart guy, Dwayne. I'll give you that for sure. With all these facts on the table, put yourself in our shoes. You continue to say that the giveaways.
I'm not disputing that it doesn't sound fishy. I'm disputing the fact of whether I knew it with that.
Fishy. We're talking about
when I was asked. When I asked, I was told it was legit. I was told they came forward. I was told that UPS was coming to pick it up.
I mean, he can only go on what he was told.
It's also, again, he's just guilty by association, and we can't go completely off that, because no matter what, like, we're going to pick at Dwayne because he's the only one
no matter what,
in contact with the association as admins.
Okay, so
Dwayne is the only one here. Why are we?
Like, the watch is a valid point, but it's like, again, he only knows what he was told, and like, even
the only thing that the one thing I can add to the watch, I've told Jolly this already, is that, you know, it wasn't a watch that he paid for. It was one of the ones he'd acquired through gambling, for lack of a better word, which is one of the reasons why he was giving it away. So he hadn't paid that money out for it. But it was a genuine article, from my understanding.
I understand, but an Audemars Piguet on any market goes for $78,000 if it's really 18 karat gold in a 46 millimeter band. Okay, so let's not be any displacement of what really went on, because then we're getting backwards.
No, it's just you're asking me to be transparent in terms of what I know, and that's
I'm agreeing with you.
I haven't shared.
I'm agreeing with you, but I just want to know one thing: was that not all to displace Mint on the last 1,300 or 1,101 Crocs?
100%.
I mean, the idea to give away a high value item, absolutely. Yeah, why wouldn't that work? You know, I want him to. You know, he was talking about giving away one of his cars at one point, and then changed his mind and went to a watch instead.
Okay.
I'm curious. This is Dave. I'm curious. What was the discussion of the videos like? Who handled the discussions of the video for the giveaway being made?
Well, I'd asked him to make a video so that people could see that it was a legit draw of the things, you know, rather than saying, "Oh, this person won," which has obviously backfired a little bit. But then, you know, we had, I think it was 4 days of me chasing, "Where's the video? Where's the video? Where's the video?" Everyone's asking me for the video, and I'm sure I screenshotted my messages, you know, asking for this and sent it to one of you to say, "Look, I'm asking, and this is what I'm saying." You know,
he sent it to me. He sent it to me.
Yeah. Was it you?
So he was.
Yeah, it was.
So he himself was in complete control of the method that was used to draw the winning number.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, there's better ways. In retrospect, there's way better ways of doing it. But it was my idea,
that's an understatement.
I didn't want it to be a digital thing. We'd done that for the ultra rare giveaway. You know, we did a random number selector on the internet and what have you. But it just felt because it's a physical draw made most sense.
Hold on.
You know, naivety.
Hold on, Dwayne. Excuse me for interrupting, and I know that I am very brash sometimes, but the kicker is, if the math has been done, and the second person on the server of the Discord that we were just on is the guy that won the watch, then let's pretend that all the videos were shot the same day. He gave you that video, however, displacement. I mean, I know you have cognitive dissonance on this, and it's understandable, but the breakdown of it is that those videos were shot in the same day. The breakdown of it was those numbers was a rigged pull, because if the guy who was the first guy on the whole web of our server before you won, then that means it was all a set play, right? Or no? Is anybody going to agree with me, or can we come to the understanding of?
I mean, that sounds like the most plausible scenario at this point, doesn't it? Now that
it's just whatever it is. I don't think it's relevant.
I'm not going to. If that's
right now.
If that's
I was just making sure that everybody has to just drop this. I want the data out to drop it. That's what I'm trying to get out. You see what I'm trying to say?
My question is, why would he be here doing everything for nothing if he wasn't?
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I mean, he's working for nothing, trying to get this up and running, and trying
No,
to.
nobody's saying anything negative about Dwayne's energy. I want Dwayne to know he's killing it for sure.
I think at this point too, we still have that original Discord going, which I believe personally, I still believe is very important because that's where you have the vast majority of minters discussing, and the watch giveaway comes up all the time. So
Right.
I think if we're going to get behind Dwayne fully, which I am leaning towards that, Dwayne, it took me a long time to convince that you weren't troller yourself until someone else mentioned they had been on an AMA with you. This was my first time hearing your voice. But once I heard that, then I realized you weren't him. But if we're going to continue to get behind Dwayne, we need to now be able to go back into that main Discord and squash this. So I think it's good that this gets aired perhaps one final time. So it's not insignificant in that sense.
No, because we have to know the data because it's timeline now. If Jolly said that there was a first person in the server that won the watch, it makes complete irrelevant sense that there was any chance of anybody else getting it, and it means all the videos are the same day, just like we said.
Listen, I have no doubt, and I think many of us do, that watch giveaway was a complete scam. I've got a 7-year-old daughter that does fantastically fair raffles, and I couldn't imagine a less fair way of drawing a raffle number than the way done in that video. The second I saw that video, my stomach sank because I knew it was all a sham at that point. So there's no doubt that it's fake. We just needed, I think, to hear and understand that Dwayne was not a part of the faking of it. As perhaps maybe Dwayne's biggest flaw is he's a little gullible for believing that there was a chance that it wasn't fake. But so long as we know you had nothing to do with it, then
I'm always be trusting, and it always gets me into trouble.
Yeah.
It could shout out to hate people.
okay, guys. So what can we do now to move forward? Because
was there anything else, Jolly? Because you mentioned a few things.
I think next we should discuss the Discord and what we're gonna do to what we're gonna do with the old one, or if we're gonna try to get everyone to come here.
I'm gonna be real, guys. I'm gonna move forward.
So the second one, Dwayne, is
do we even have the codes to get into the old Discord? Actual passwords?
I still think a long-term solution is a different Discord. Although I've got access to the admin one, I still think that could get usurped from me at some point. I think it would be a safer choice to start building the community elsewhere.
I would suggest that we divide some type of roles. Someone has over the social media, and someone has over the Discord, someone has the wallet, as we said, the main guy, and then we give the role to the guy that's gonna make this new Discord like the old one, and he makes it the same as it, gets all the channels up and running and everything.
I have a question again. If we're all gonna continue our trust in Dwayne, right? And Dwayne, you obviously have a personal connection to this from the massive amount of hours you put into it. My thinking would be Dwayne keeps the 32 Crocs that he has to keep an extreme vested interest in this going forward, and at the same time be the creator of the new Discord, be the person that holds on to the main wallet. I don't know that Dwayne would be interested in any of that, but
the last thing I read to is for the Discord.
Hey, I'll tell you this.
Anything but that,
honestly. If we give it right back to Dwayne, I am going to put a package together to have you buy my Crocs for $100. On God. And it's not because of anything negative about Dwayne. I know Dwayne's a great guy because of energy. But the kicker is, it's going to fail because of nobody else is going to get behind it 1,000%.
Yeah.
He can be the dev, he can be the coder, he can be the writer. But if it doesn't decompartmentalize into some type of other thing, it's not going to work the same way it worked because we have to do the reverse. That's it.
Yeah.
And decentralized, because the
Yeah.
issue that fucks everyone before is the problem that one person holds all the power and they get bored and run. And so if it's decentralized, it doesn't fall apart as easily.
Yeah, but the way it seems that most of these things work, whether it be the Discord or the blockchain, it seems like ultimately one person has to do it. So who possibly in the group could be the one person?
Yeah,
but
it takes a village to run.
Guys, so this is what I was saying. It's
Yes.
this. All right. So this is what I'm saying. We have 5 people who are very active here. Okay. We've got some geniuses here as well. In their own merit. I think the next thing to do is create a poll. The first poll I want to do is how many people do you want making decisions, and then the next poll is who that is. Okay. Because what I want now is the decisions to be done by the community, nobody else. Okay, so if we put up a poll and you guys pick someone dodgy, there's no blame. It's everyone's fault. Does that make sense? Like if you pick someone amazing, then great, right? But this is how it should be run. It should be run of polls. Okay. The only reason I'm suggesting this is because I'm in another NFT called Lazy Bunny. That NFT is completely community led, right? Everything is run on polls, and they're literally reaching 1 Ethereum floor price. Why? They come together and they make decisions, guys.
Bro, we ain't gonna talk about a whole nother NFT.
Does that group have funds from their original minting where they created like that from the outset?
Yes, they have. They do have funds. They were hacked at one point, and they did lose some money, but you know, it wasn't anyone. It wasn't anyone from the Discord. They found out it was someone who came in and just somehow got access. But the community's gotten over it, and they can move forwards.
I would say the trade-off is, we don't have funds, so that's why the skills would play the most important role. Right, and right now, it seems like Dwayne has the greatest skills out of anyone that's involved in this at all.
So Dwayne has
whole project.
Dwayne's got amazing skills, hands down. We've seen it. Okay, but our Neon also has people who he can bring on the project. Hopefully, there's people in here with skills. I don't know. I'm pretty good at social media. Like we can literally band together.
We just want Dwayne to focus. He's very good at
coding. I don't like. In order for me to focus, is website, smart contract related things. Discord is a time sink, and I'm quite happy to let someone else. Social media is not my thing. I'm not a fan.
We wouldn't waste your talents there.
No, what I want you to do is work with me on this mining code and see if we can work with Fusion to get a miner and whatever the funding that can be generated to actually make generations while we're sleeping. We're having assets going into that bucket. That's it. Yeah. Because everybody gives one thing about any of it, right? If it's community, where's the money and how? And I got a bunch
miner, but I don't know how much power we need.
I got a bunch of that. I got a bunch of how to make it. And if he can type that shit with his cast off two-handed, he's going to be super fire. And if we can get a team that we can hire for X amount of pennies per what they accomplish, like me and Dwayne have talked about, correct, Dwayne?
Yeah, exactly. I think we don't need a lot.
No,
I don't think. Just to get as soon as we've got some movement again, that it will start the train going. It will be slow at first. We might have a few setbacks, but we'll get there if we work together.
So let's make a plan of action between the people in the chat and see who has the superpowers. Get these polls out. See what we want to do for real. Because right now, the only way that there's a key and there's a castle, and everybody has to get in the castle. That's the only thing that we have to do. Because once everybody's in the castle, then we can build up arms, and then we can go to war and do some shit for real. But without anybody knowing nothing, like it's been, everybody's just going to create FUD. As fast as the FUD wall comes, it's done, and everybody dips. The people in the server that are watching too, the people that are in control that are in the background that still have passcodes are still watching all this. Facts.
That's why we need a new server.
Right. So my point is, when it does take off, they're going to come in and do anything they can that's malicious, because they've already done it. Anything as bad as it can be is as bad as it is, and it's terrible right now. So what we have to do is make a plan of action that is precautionary so that there is no chain backwards up the blockchain to have it happen again. Any blockchain forward is what we do forward, and it can't go backward. And right now, the server is one thing, and the emails, like he said, are still connected to other people. All of them. All the
So I say we find somebody to do the servers and somebody to do the social media.
Of course, we have people that are willing to jump on social media. And with 1,700 people in our community and the rule of threes, it should be 5K by the end of next week, now that we're all motivated behind it again, correct? That are even, like we even said, starting Twitch channels just to watch the Croc battles, just to generate somebody in the generation of energy into the metadata so that the robot picks this up somehow, some way.
Now, can we share those battles on like Instagram or Facebook?
Everything. You take a screenshot of it, post it back to it, especially after me and Dwayne have the code, so that that's mining for us. Any data that goes to the website will mine more and more and more and more mines, in which money will be dumped into our community account. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dwayne. Can we do that?
We should be able to do something like that.
I think we got it.
So whoever's running this Discord, make a separate channel. Anyone who wants to be involved, like write a little bio about yourself and what you'd be interested in doing, and then from there, because we could actually see, like, not like resumes, but we have an idea of like who wants to do what. Okay, we could do resumes, but
yep. I mean, a fake. You know, like this is what I do.
Yeah.
Check me out real quick. 8 lines. I'm me. You can go to my thing, Google me, look me up, backtrack, my face, my beard, my logo, boom, that's me. You can do that with Fusion. You can do that with Paula. We've been the ones that have been transparent as can be because we're whatever we are in real life that makes us be able to be something in metaverse now. That's all. So now we can all be metaverse, all be real life, all be transparent, all love each other, meet with a beard because why? Post Malone meets up with fucking DJ Khaled and they're babe holders, right?
I like the idea.
But you see what I'm saying? They're basic holders. Why wouldn't they bump into each other and say what up with a beer when they go on the Discord and say, yo, Khaled, you in here? Yeah, I'm over here at 11. Yo, on the message. You know what I mean? That's where we want to be, right? Now let's project that.
Awesome. I still want to, on the roadmap we were meant to have like a London meetup. I would still like much for that to be part of the roadmap.
And an American one, if anybody can make it. We do a separate Croc meetup, greet, talk about, build trust and belief is the only thing we can do from here on out. With anybody that comes to the project or anybody that still wants to be involved wholeheartedly. We have to build that and solidify that, like you said, with a resume or want of effort in. Here's what I can produce. My cousin is this guy and boobity bobbity beep. Everybody in here's got that at least.
Jimmy.
Dwayne, question. You said you were going down to London in a couple of weeks, didn't you?
Yeah, you said it yesterday.
24th, 25th, I think it is.
So you're obviously going down to London. I think in order for you to continue in the next week or two, you probably need to meet up with at least one person, if not two, who are in the Discord, so we can understand if you're genuine about the project.
And a public place, of course.
Yeah, in a public place, yeah.
What, 17 days? Not even 17 days from now, is it? 14 days? 13?
It'll
15 days.
Time's moving fast, I know, for all of us, because we haven't slept for shit.
Now, are we all
Why
gonna?
wouldn't you meet me before the cast's off? Is that?
That's the point. He's going after.
Honestly, we're literally, Dwayne. Me and Grigor are literally an hour down the road from you. Like we're so close, and we're happy to meet you at the Starbucks or whatever. And you know, I think personally that's the only way. I think you're going to build trust in this community because I think without that, it's going to be very difficult. Like you've already said, you know me very well, probably the best out of the community. So I think if anything, and I've sent you know who I am, by the way. I've sent you who I am, so you already know who I am. What I look
This
like.
is one of the reasons why I felt okay sending the thingy croc to you because when I know who you are.
Hey, I'm Googleable. Just check out my beard. I look beautiful.
I'm from the Midwest, so I'll go check on Neon. I'll fly up to Detroit.
Come on, let's go. Let's have this. Also a show.
New York.
Only VIP.
Wait, you're from New York?
Yeah.
But I don't.
Best real estate in the world.
Philadelphia.
I'm jealous.
Your accent gave you
Your Philly accent gave you away.
I'll throw in Pennsylvania for Crocs. I'll throw
Thanks.
a Croc tour.
I was thinking Philly or South Jersey as one or the other.
Hey, I'll
Yeah,
drive to
I
Philly.
mean,
I'll fly
Right.
into
From my point of view, guys,
I don't
I mean,
want to sidetrack, but do we have any land in any like metaverse